Here we are. It's not the comic book crowd, but it's the next best thing. Joe from Anachronic Comics, and to my left, we have Matt Woods of Matt Woods Comics. And down below, no pun or anything intended, we have Dave Bratton of Action Figure Comedy. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm good,
doing
Joe.
excellent, Joe. Yep.
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm just happy I'm alive. That's the big thing with respect to that.
Yeah.
You know, from a standpoint of, I just wanted to thank everybody, first of all, because everybody was so good about, you know, I guess worrying about me and my wife, I guess, with respect to the hurricane they just came back from. You know, really quickly, you know, well, let's say hello to people first. I keep forgetting before I get into my little craziness here. So what do we have here? Let's see. And well, here's Tina. Tina's here. How you doing?
Hey, Tina.
All right.
Whoa,
we have
Dave and I
John
don't get a
Comic
hi,
with
Tina?
Kids. And the kids can watch this show. Maybe not the other one that we're working on, right? But this one you can watch. It's okay. Who else do we have here? Well, Boris here. How you doing? Good to see you. Incidentally, these are not these. I just put my computer glasses down, right? These are my reading glasses. So everything is supposed to be here, but what I'm looking at is all over here. So that's why I'm going like this. In case you see the top of my head, that's it. All right. I don't mean it. That's just what happens. All right. We got Paul. How you doing? Psychedelic Comics is here. Anybody else here that we missed so far? Psychedelic, Tina, well, boy, a lot of conversation going on here.
Excellent people in the chat.
And we got Shop here. How you doing?
Shop.
Right. One of the first giveaway winners that we ever had in the thing. All right.
Ooh.
So we got a few people here, which is really cool. So, so my wife and I decided we bought a new condo, a different condo in another building in this development that we're in, you know, and it's kind of fun. There's a lot of people there that we enjoy having time with. I mean, I never thought I'd be one of these, what do they call the people go down in the wintertime? Something bird.
Snowbird.
Snowbird. I know that'd be a snowbird, but I'll tell you something. When I came back from Florida, where it was 85 to 90 degrees into White Plains Airport here, it was rainy and it was cold. It was 45 degrees. I was freezing my Badinsky off. And I said, hey, that hurricane wasn't so bad down there. So I'm getting to that point where, you know, and I used to love the winter and everything when I was younger. Not anymore. But anyway, we thought we'd go down there because we had to talk to a realtor about selling our old place. We had a new place that we bought, and we're also getting it renovated. We had a few more things we needed to talk to the contractor about. And I was supposed to come back on Wednesday. But what happened? Wednesday was the date of the hurricane.
Yeah.
You know? So
That
I
is
moved our
really
flight to
bad
Saturday. Great timing. And you remember what happened when I went down in the wintertime? We got stuck in a snowstorm. We were on the entry ramp for I-95 in I think it was Stratford, Virginia, for 11 hours. Just right there. Couldn't move.
On the highway.
Right. On the entrance ramp. Because we had gotten off trying to get around the problem. And we decided just to go back on. And that was it. They closed down the whole thing. So 2022 is not my time for weather. So in 2023, if you're finding out that I'm going somewhere, don't go there. Don't go there. That's it. So anyway, so we got stuck there. Moved the flight to Saturday, and then the whole airport in Fort Myers, which really got hit, was closed down, and so we had to make arrangements to try to get to. We actually tried to get to Fort Lauderdale, so I was able to do that, and we got out on Monday evening from Fort Lauderdale, and so managed to get back in home. We walked into the house here at about 11 o'clock at night, which was good because I had appointments yesterday, today, New York Comic Con, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Tomorrow and Friday I'll be there, and Saturday my best friend's son is getting married in upstate New York, so you have to go to a wedding. So I'm exhausted already. That's all I can say. So that was my eventful week, and I got some stuff on on the hurricane, but I want to know whether you guys had any comments or anything you wanted to talk. Did you have a better week than I did?
Well, not as an eventful week as you, by no means. But,
Okay.
Joe, honestly, I talk to a lot of people.
Wait a minute.
My bad.
We have the other Bratton brother here. We got to bring him in. There he is,
Hey.
Doug. Dave,
Hey, Joe.
If you came
It's
on, you might
Dave's
have
little
to leave.
brother.
It is.
That's it, guys. I'm out.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Hey,
buddy.
Dave.
Hey, Doug. Good to see you.
Lemon?
I'll be seeing a
Oh,
lot
Doug.
of Doug the next few days at Comic-Con.
I know we're going to see each other a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Guys are kind of a big deal around NYCC.
You know,
He's
I'm
been to
gonna-
most of them, we've heard.
I really thought
With
that
Dave.
when I saw Doug on Reggie's channel earlier, that Doug was going to present the new Doug Bratton T-shirt, and that if you'd wear the Doug Bratton T-shirt to the New York Comic-Con tomorrow, you'd get some sort of special comic book or something like that. You know,
Is this a bad idea thing?
that's
Pat
right.
me on the shoulder, go
Bad
like
idea, all
this. Yeah, really bad idea.
I know.
We might have to make Doug Bratton T-shirts a thing.
You know, if you have a press, you can make a T-shirt because I've made them, so you can do that. You know,
Yeah.
so,
I'll sell one copy to my mom.
Hey, that was cool.
Come on,
seeing
your
your
big
mom in
brother
the
would
chat
take
today.
one. Your big brother would take one. He wouldn't pay for it though.
He might pay cost.
This is more than $3. What?
It's not 1985
Matt,
anymore, Dave.
We interrupted you, Matt. I'm sorry. You were going to say something.
Well, Joe, I was saying, I talk to a lot of people in the community, a lot of DMs every day. And a lot of people are sincerely concerned about you being down there. I'm glad you made it out of there, okay? But there's a lot of people still down there that are still, dealing with the after effects of the hurricane. And, all of our thoughts are going down to those people. So, hopefully they can get back on their feet quickly.
Well, we spoke today to one of our friends down there, and it's it's what I have to tell you about, like Florida Power and Light, and at least the city of Naples, where my condo is and stuff like that. They are terrific. When you're up here, like sometimes like New York City, you expect things are not going to go right. They go right down there. I mean, my wife was complaining like 24 hours later, we don't have power yet. I said, it's like a day, we actually got power. I mean, and the devastation, I got a small video I put together. You'll see it. The devastation was really bad. And I just did like one of the condos in our area. I mean, we walked around and I mean, it was just really bad. Anything that had a first floor was really, really bad. And in 1973, two of our development there has 10 different condos. 2 of them were built post 1973 when they came out with a new regulation that required a certain height for the first floor. In fact, one of my very good friends who came to visit us down there liked it so much they bought a condo last year. So it was great having them down there with us. It was a lot of fun. But since we're moving from one condo to another, they, the one that our new one is being renovated and wasn't ready yet. They said, why don't you put some, because my wife says, I don't want the movers to touch this, to touch that. I said, okay. So I called them up and they said, yeah, why don't you put your stuff in our condo? They're on the first floor. We did that 2 days before the hurricane. So when the hurricane came and we saw what was happening in our own condo, the floodwaters were they had about 7 or 8 feet of a surge. And the first floor is about 4 feet above. So they had about 3 to 4 feet of water in there. So I told her, I said, well, everything's replaceable there except for us, but I said, everything's replaceable. So, but we had his key. We have his key. He has ours. So I went over there when everything died down. Dry as a bone. Why? Because it was built post 1973. The water got to within about, 10 feet of the first floor, but never touched it, front or back. And our back faces Broad Avenue, which is beautiful. There's like a big, it's almost kind of like a Park Avenue type of thing, but actually much wider and longer with banyan trees and all that, and so forth. But you know what? Let me show you the video, and then we could talk about it if you want to for a bit. I wanted to thank people basically for their concern. I mean, I just thought it was just so nice. And I felt bad because I knew people were, I could sketchily see things, but I didn't have any power for a while. I was trying to maintain my phone power in case I needed something. And I had just gone to City Hall, actually, and got it because they had people, the mayor was a woman there, actually got me a chair. I said, I'll put the chair over. She goes, no, because if something happens to you, you get hurt, you're going to sue the city. So let me move the chair for you. And I sat down. So I had just actually powered it up when I saw Matt's text, so that's why I answered him right away. And then I kept turning my phone off. So I apologize to people that were asking, you okay, you okay? I needed to keep the power on my phone, for emergency purposes. So anyway, but thank you so much. So let me show you this and we can talk briefly about it. Then we could talk about something a little bit more fun, maybe. All right. So hold on a second. Let me bring this up if I remember how to do this the right way. All right, hold on a second. I guess I'm not doing it the right way. Hold on.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this video.
I'm not that good at this thing here. I'm trying to figure this thing out. All right.
It's the glasses.
Yeah, it's the glasses. Right. I got you.
Bentley.
Yeah.
Bentley.
He is definitely doing something in the other room to a blanket he should not be doing, and no one's paying attention.
Hint, hint.
Hopefully he's not eating it this time.
Oh, God.
Bentley is the most awesome dog out there too. Very friendly. Unless you're a blanket.
All right. So I'm going to, it won't let me do this. So let me try something else. Sorry, guys. Should have probably had this set up. I thought I did, but obviously I'm not doing it the right way.
It's all right. We get to hear Bentley, so it's all good.
Yeah, Bentley's keeping us distracted. And
Yeah.
Matt, if you want to dog sit for a month and give us a break, we're happy to share.
I have a farm. That dog can run for miles, and he would have a good time.
He would.
Doug, I'm tempted to yell and see if he thinks I'm in the office with you to bark and try and come see me.
The headphones will
Oh, it's only going through the
mess
headphones.
that up. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, guys, all that work I put into this thing, it won't go to the other screen that I'm trying to share for some reason.
I'm starting to doubt the hurricane ever happened. Just saying.
You know what? Let me see if I can do it this way.
Joe wasn't anywhere near Florida.
Just making it all.
I understand it came out.
Exactly. He's trying to download a video off YouTube right now.
Yeah, right.
He's going to get tens and tens of views from this video and make cents on the dollar.
All right, let me try it this way. Let me see if this works. Hold on, guys.
This should work.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
We can see your files. Yeah.
Files.
Oh, just the files. Now, you can't see the video, though.
No.
Right. That's a shame. Let me see. I worked so hard on this thing, too. All right. Well, you know what? I was going to say four-letter word, but you know what?
Drat.
Yeah, drat. That's exactly right.
Dag nabbit.
My God, dang nabbit. All right, let me try one more thing. One more thing. Let me see.
Darn it.
And it also said that it was too large for me to play, to bring it into this, unfortunately. So I couldn't do that either. Let's see. Let me try something else.
Joe's the techno quiz. He knows all about StreamYard.
I got it, I think. Hold on, guys.
Uh-oh.
I got it. Let me just start it from the beginning again here. Let me go back here. All right. Go back. Go back. Go back.
I see a lot of great people in the chat.
Yeah, let's take a
I
look at
gotta
some.
pull the chat up.
How do you see that? Yeah.
Comic Journey, you're here.
Click
All right.
on comments, Dave,
Comments.
instead of
Yeah,
private
there
chat.
we go. There we go.
Richard, we saw Richard ready. Yeah.
Comic Journey. We get to see his hands today.
I know this guy has the best hands in the business.
That's a fact.
We said hello to a bunch of other people too. Chris Bigger, you know, we have a big surprise. Dave and I have a big surprise for you, Chris.
You do, bud.
It's coming up soon. You can't miss it. We had you in mind when we did this, right? Right? Okay.
You're gonna
Hey,
love it.
there's a comment in the chat
just
about the Brattons
continue.
being too close. Can we separate them? We don't want them to fight.
Oh, wrong
See?
way. Wrong way.
Whoa, that hit me, Dave.
Are you
All right. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to try it again. I think I got it. So hold on. Let's see. All right. Present screen. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. What?
All right. Ready?
It wasn't a hurricane.
Wow.
That's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
Wait, you put a soundtrack to this?
I did. Now, this is looking out from my lanai. I took this video. The water was only about half as high as it got to. You see that little tree? It got to the bottom branches, the height.
Wow.
So that was kind of my ruler. So I could figure out like how high when it started to go back down.
Yeah.
So this was around noon on Wednesday.
Oh, it had a long while to go before it peaked.
Now take a look at this. I'll show you
Which
our
one's your
rental car
rental?
in a bit. This is across the way.
Oh, jeez.
The car's underwater.
Yeah.
There was a little Mazda Miata there. It's still there, but it's not. You can't see it. That's our rental car.
Oh,
God.
jeez.
That was it.
Wow.
That was fun returning that.
I didn't return it. It's still there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's got a little water damage.
This is the water was starting to recede a bit at this
Yeah,
point.
you're
in
not
time.
driving that thing after that flood.
No.
No.
Your Jeep
No.
wouldn't have made it here.
Nope.
Well, not that day. Maybe the next day, but not that
The next day, yes. Now this is where we're going to be moving to, but luckily ours is the second floor. I didn't really look inside everybody's place, but basically everything was gone. They have
Yeah.
to take everything down. They're going to have to do all the sheetrock over again too. There's a couple of guys like just cleaning up this one place here. And this is what you saw all over downtown Naples. That's it.
There goes the
That's
price
the,
of dry rock.
That's all the sand and all that, you know, and the salt.
Mhm.
The smell was amazing. It was bad. And the concern was actually mold too. So they took everything out as quickly as possible. It's going to have to be treated. Everybody on the first floor, the dead fish, you're walking around.
Wow.
A tadpole. We found a dead tadpole as well. Now, one of the nicest things about Naples is its pier. Everybody goes there to meet. It's beautiful. People fish off of this stuff. You can buy ice cream, coffee.
Gorgeous.
It's really gorgeous. It's a nice place to meet people. That's the very end. Post-hurricane. Check this out. This is from the sheriff's office.
Wow.
All gone. Look at all that. There used to be another pavilion at the end. It's not even there anymore. These are just the cement sanctions.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just sad. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a lot of damage.
That is.
It's really
Really?
sad that happened. So, and
There's, I'm sure, a lot of people in other parts of the country, like New Orleans and New Jersey, that have great empathy for what you're going through, having experienced it in past hurricanes, and
right. I mean, it's
Definitely.
rough.
It is.
I mean, the thing about it was we were fortunate, at least in our area there, as far as I know, there was no loss of life. But up just a little bit further, in the Fort Myers area, Sanibel Island that's there. I
Yeah.
mean, the last time I looked, they'd over 100 people that had passed away. I mean, it was just a horror show. Really, really bad. You know, so as a practical matter, we were just thankful because everything that we had, you know, was you know, we turned out we were okay, but a lot of people lost quite a bit of stuff. So anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it'll get better, and I think it will as we go along. With that.
Wow.
So again, thanks to everybody who was worried about me. You see, I'm in good shape here. I'm still good looking. Yeah. All right. So thanks again. Anyway, so Doug, you're going to be at Comic-Con tomorrow, right?
My Comic-Con. I'm excited to go. You know, it's funny. I said I've been to, you know, almost all of them with Dave, but that's the New York Comic-Con as branded. There was a Big Apple Con before that. There were New York Comic-Cons, and before I was born, probably before Dave was born, they just weren't New York Comic-Con.
Yeah,
exactly.
71 was the first one, I believe. I forget the exact date now.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I peeked up. I said,
Yeah.
was not there in 1970.
To New York Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Let me clarify. I haven't been to every convention in New York. So,
And here's an interesting thing about the very first one that they ever held. They did not rent out the entire Javits Center.
wow, it was a mess.
Really?
They oversold on the tickets. People were showing up with tickets to get in, and because it was so jam packed, they were turning people away. They're like, sorry,
Yeah, the fire marshal shut the floor down. Like,
really?
People
would leave the main floor to go to a panel.
Yep.
And then wouldn't be allowed back in. It was
crazy.
They learned, and it's great that they have not had that problem since. But the first year was lessons learned for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great con.
It is.
What sports teams play in a Javits Center?
What's that?
What sports teams playing at, or what is that center?
It's not. It's just a convention center.
Okay. Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden. All of the teams in Manhattan that play there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just didn't know. I'd never heard of it except for New York Comic-Con.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the only time I've been there was for New York Comic-Con, and the first time I went, Doug, was after I retired. You know, because I couldn't go when I was working. You know, I mean, my job, as some was not necessarily a 5-day-a-week job. You know, so it was difficult and to do that, and then raising the kids generally Saturday and Sunday. I was going to tell my wife I'm going to the Comic-Con. So
yeah, that doesn't go over well.
Yeah, that didn't go over well at all. So so when I retired, one of the first things I knew was on my easy to make bucket list was I'm going to New York Comic-Con. So that's what I did, and I've gone to each. And obviously, I didn't have one. Was it 2020? I guess it was for COVID. So I didn't have one last year when I was there. It was very, sparsely.
Yeah.
I mean, you usually can't walk down the roads very. You had so much room. You could put your arms out like this and not hit anybody as you walked up and down the roads.
It was easy to dig for books last year, and I don't think it will be this year.
No.
But you do have to wear a mask this year.
Yep.
You do have to wear a mask.
Yep.
Right.
So anyway, if you're thinking of going, don't forget your mask. With respect to that.
Yeah.
So Doug, where should we meet you tomorrow, or anybody else that might want to see you?
Ooh.
If you go to the short box booth from noon to 1, any day will be there, and I am blanking on the number.
I got it for you. I'm way ahead of you.
Instagram.
I'm way ahead of you. Hold on. I'll get it up here for you.
You did throw you on the spot there, Doug.
Reggie didn't say anything about it on a show, so I don't want to give anything away. I'll just say that we'll probably be at another booth afterwards on Saturday for some extended time. So if you have a panel at noon on Saturday, probably check Reggie and my Instagram. I'm sure that'll be posted soon.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I'll be there Thursday and Friday. I did have a ticket for Saturday that I put up for sale in that resale thing, which I assume they've sold because they say that they're sold out. But they haven't told me when they're going to give me my money, because my best friend's son is getting married on Saturday in upstate New York, and I'd forgotten all about that when I bought the tickets.
Whoops.
So
That's what happens when you're retired. You have so much free time, and you can do anything you want, and then all of a sudden you double book.
You don't. I tell people all the things that I wanted to do. I had to realize very quickly that there were many of them I would not be able to do simply because I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. And people can't understand that. Chuck,
Well,
how you doing?
Hey, Chuck.
People can't understand that, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
well,
Joe,
you
I was
don't
going to see if you
quite
want to go to a
live.
panel with me on Saturday, but since you're not there, oh well.
What's
Sorry.
that?
I was
What'd
going
you
to
say?
see if you wanted to go to a panel with me a Saturday afternoon, but
Well, this is good. Let me tell you, these are the panels that I came up with that I might be able to go to. Although the first one I might not be able to go because it corresponds with the 12 to 1 o'clock thingy-jiggy that these people are doing this stuff here. So there was. I'll skip that one. But Dave, at 1:45. In room 4, this has been my entire preparation. I just want to tell everybody. Normally, I prepare. I say, here are books I want to get signed. Here's where I'm going to go. I'm going to do all this type of stuff, and I plan everything out. This is all the time I had to plan anything because of Hurricane Ian.
Sure.
But so explore the DC multiverse. Thursday, 1:45 to 2:45 in room 406.1.
okay.
Then I'm probably going to go to visual storytelling basics, because I may not be a Doug Brown, but I got a lot of stories in my head that maybe I want to get out. And that's, don't say anything, Matt. Don't say anything. So that's 3:15 to 4:15. All right.
Stories in your head or voices in your head?
My wife thinks it's the latter, but I think
I
it's
was going to say that, but I held back.
Then on Friday at 1:30 is Marvel Comics with the what's his name, Sabruski, whatever, the editor-in-chief.
Oh yeah.
For 1:30 to 2:30. And then and I thought about you, Doug, and that's why I thought I'd go to this just to see what the story is. At 1:30 in room 408, it's a Comixology special, The Art of the Pitch.
Who's running it?
I don't know. That's
okay.
Comixology, but I don't know who's doing it. But I remember you telling it when you were on Comic Book Crowd about the pitch you made.
Yep.
I said, I'm going to go to this thing and see how to pitch, And then this is my alternative. This is one of the things that Hurricane Ian took away from me. All right. And that is they had this special deal where you could meet Jim Lee, get 3 books signed from him, and then submit it to CGC. Could be right there. He'd give you a special poster that he would sign for you, and you could take a photograph with them. It was a reasonable price for all that stuff. Actually, the CGC stuff would cost you more, But I couldn't do anything, and by the time I got to it, they were sold out. So now you can get one thing signed from him, but the hell with that. I mean, I didn't care about that.
My apologies. I'll be right back.
Okay. But then at 3:15 on Friday, they have something, and it might be difficult to get into this, again in room 406.1, Jim Lee and Friends, where he's going to talk about DC Comics.
Friends.
Yeah. So those are the ones, Dave, that I picked out.
Okay.
That I saw there.
Gotcha.
Then I'm going to try to go to those that are there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So the other things I wanted to just talk about this is the rest of my very meager preparation here. And that is Comic Mint. This they're going to be in 3319. They are going to have these 2 items, which I cut off here apparently, but they're going to have foil facsimiles of Detective Comics 27 and Action Comics #1, which looks really, really interesting. You know, it's a limited edition, so I don't know if we're going to get it or not. But I think it would be kind of cool to try get those. My view. So I'm going to try to stop by there and pick up one of each. I
might tag along with you on that one, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it sound great?
That does look cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, looks cool. The other thing is they're going to have guest artists, and let me see if I can get this a little bigger. That are here. So Inyuk Lee is a guy that I kind of like, you know, but Shannon Mayer is pretty good too. His women's is, as Bruno would say, are pretty cool.
Women's,
you know. So Tiago De Silvaida, I never really heard of him before, but it seems like he's drawn a lot of things that I'm aware of. So I might try to stop by there too. I have Inyuk Lee stuff, but I just don't have the time to find it right now. So I might, when you go here, you see that they actually are selling also some of their books that are here. So Inyuk Lee has this one here. What is this one? Midnight Suns #1 intrigues me. So maybe I'll pick up this one, you know, and maybe I'll pick up one of these that they have there, or two of these, and if I can get them signed, I'll do that. So that's kind of on my list of things as well. And then there's a lot of stuff on Instagram right now, and I happen to come across this because Brian LCS, I don't know if he's here tonight or not, he copied me in on this type of thing, so I think I went through it. But the Boxed Heroes, for example, you could win Avengers Annual number 10, a CGC 9.0, by simply, like, you know, following them and doing the rest of the stuff that's there. And so there's a bunch of them also that are talking about being on, you know, being there for different things. And finally, this is Midtown Comics, and I was there today actually because I was down in Manhattan today. They have some pretty good signings. So here, got Peach Momoko, who I don't have anything signed by her, so I might try to pick that up. And at 1 p.m. Now, how does he say his name again?
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz, right? He's
pretty
there.
Popular artist.
Yeah. Might do something like that, but she's really the one. I have a few of her comic books, and so if I get the opportunity, I might go down there and see if I can get her signed. And CGC will be there as well. This is all presented by Midtown Comics, my comic book shop. So that's cool.
Are those signings free for Midtown? Do you know?
You know, they didn't mention the price. I assume there will be one.
Okay.
You know.
I was going to say, getting Bill Sienkiewicz to sign isn't always. So if it was, that's a good one to target.
Well, when they do it at their own place, generally they foot the bill. You just have to buy the comic books and stuff like that. At least with the ones that I've been involved with. Yeah,
that's been my experience, which is why Bill Sienkiewicz there at that time jumped out at me as like that might be fun to drop by. Now the line will be down the hall, but that's pretty cool.
Well, I assume he's going to be there for 2 hours to do this, 1 to 3, you know. So I might do that as well. I don't know. I'll have to see what I could find and, you know, and what's there, or maybe buy something if they have it there. And I'm sure it's Midtown Comics. I'm sure they're going to have the comic books there as well if you want to buy some of them. Yeah. So that's the other thing that I kind of came across that I interested in. This was all of like on the train down to Manhattan, and then on the train back with my phone trying to say, what can I do over the next couple of days? You know, there's
a lot going on right there. Wow.
There's too much. I used to go for 1 day, and then I expanded it to 2. That's why this year I was trying to do 3, because there was a bunch of things on Saturday that I liked. Yeah. You know, but that's not to happen.
Joe,
and then of course there's this.
Who are those guys?
I don't know.
The thing I always say about Comic-Con is you spend a lot of time and money to miss 95% of Comic-Con.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That 5% you get to is pretty awesome. So
yeah.
The only Comic-Con I have ever been to, or not a Comic-Con, it was a comic book show, was with Joe. And honest to gosh, that was a blast. For me, you know, being my first show, I just thought I was starstruck, if you will, okay? I couldn't even talk to Roy Thomas.
He was bumbling to Bray Thomas. I'm going, come on.
I didn't want to steal your spotlight, Joe, because you had an awesome story with him. But anyhow, now that I'm looking at like a show or a con with all these panels and all these like discussions and side room, topics, like I need to get myself to New York Comic Con next year because that thing just looks amazing to me.
Well, a lot closer than San Diego too.
Yeah.
This is true. Although I don't know, because I would drive to New York. I'd fly to San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's true. And I think one of the things, maybe if we, because I won't be down at GarageCon this year because I'll be on my Mediterranean cruise with my wife.
Oh, you're going to so enjoy it.
Man.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it ends on the 21st. What do you got there?
Oh, just showing this really cool book I've heard about. Isolation. Yeah. I don't know. It's literally right beside me. So I'm just.
I heard you go to sleep with it under your pillow.
No.
I'm not giving it a spine tick. No.
No, it's taped to my ceiling. Okay. That's not creepy whatsoever. Yeah.
Not at all.
It's not. It's not at all.
I'm going to bring my copy that's of the Steve Conjay exclusive. I mean, I have more than one, but I don't want to bombard him. But I haven't met Steve in person yet, and I want to get him to sign that. Yep, that's the one.
I need to make a drug deal with somebody to get a copy of the Comic Book Guide Volume 2. I got to make that happen.
I'm sure someone in here. We could probably grab a copy for you. So
gotta figure out what I got
already.
Gotta figure out what I gotta give.
But I was going to ask you. I did post it on Reggie's thing, but let me ask you. When I'm assuming the answer is no, but you're not going to have a CGC person there when you guys are signing, right? Is Strobox going to have anything like that?
No, but you can get a facilitator if you want.
I know.
Yeah,
Because my thought was on Friday. I mean, I'd like to get a couple of copies of the, if I can, of the con exclusive. But since Delia is going to be there on Friday, I was thinking I'd like to get a facilitator there and get all three of your signatures, and then CGC it. I think that would be kind of cool to do.
Yep. I have no idea. I think Delia is. Yeah, she had to be because I think she signed some of the Yellow Label books. So she's registered with CGC.
Okay.
There is a chance, I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. I don't know if Beth, who did the cover of the con exclusive and who's also the letterer, I don't know if she's going to be at a booth with us signing, but there is a chance she might swing by Comic-Con one of the days, and I have to check which one. It might be Friday. So
tell her to come on Friday because that's when I'm there.
It might be Friday, and
she's going to want to meet me.
So you couldn't get that one. I don't think Beth is registered with CGC. I don't know if you could get that one verified. I don't know how that works. But you could get a raw book signed if she's there. I'm sure she'd be happy to sign it. And that cover is awesome.
This Beth Scarlin cover. Scarlin, right?
Charlin,
thank you.
Yep.
It's fire. I'm a big fan of this.
Yep.
There's a lot of good art on this book, Isolation. I mean, Delia, Conjay, Charlin, who else did it cover? The guy who did the Death Dealer homage.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm sorry, I blanked because I know him by his Instagram name, and it's not his name.
I just said his name on my video last week. I can't remember.
Yeah, for people who don't understand, it's like the New York Comic Con is tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's the next 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I can. I'll tell you something that we didn't mention on Reggie's show, but there won't be another chance for Reggie to let the cat out of the bag. So I'll announce it on your show, Joe. In the
Exclusive.
I believe the inside cover of the Guide 2 that we're going to have is the cover gallery for Isolation issue 2. Reggie has shown, I think, 2 of those covers, but I think there's 4 in that ad inside the book. So if you swing by and take a sneak peek and maybe take a photo to send to Matt, but don't post it online, you could see Beth's cover for issue 2.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Really nice.
So I have 4 that I need to hunt down. All right. Yeah, this is all isolation variants. Every one of them.
Issue number 3, we're going to do a different cover for every copy of the book, just to drive Matt bonkers.
That is straight evil.
Matt has no retirement money, but they can keep publishing Isolation.
I'll keep you guys in business. My goodness.
Well, I'll tell you something, though. I mean, really, for people who haven't picked it up, and I assume there's still copies available, right? Other than the con exclusive, Doug.
Yeah, Reggie's the only one that's not is the I think the premium is sold out. I think Reggie will have at least some copies of each of the other covers there.
I have to tell you, I mean, and it's not because I consider Doug my friend. When I read the cover A, because the other ones are pristine, but and I took a look at that and I read through it. I got through it, and I was extremely disappointed that there wasn't more, because I was like, "What? Wait a minute." Where's issue 2? Let's go. It was just, the setup was just so well done,
Thank you.
And the artwork, really kind of lends itself to this kind of like mystery horror type of thing that's going on there, But the setup was very good, and right away. And I know you said, Doug, on some other show that once you get further into the story and you look back, there are a lot of Easter eggs in that, issue number 1. And so, of course, when you did that, it drove me crazy, because I started looking at it saying, where the hell is these Easter eggs here? Maybe it's that thing over there, and stuff like that. Because, my lawyer mind started going crazy, and I said, okay, let me jot down some notes here. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that.
Oh, I've read the book 3 times already, and I'll probably read it again before issue 2 comes out. Right. But I just have to second what Joe says. Like, there's a lot of build up to it, but yet there's not a lot of you're wanting so much more. Like, it's the perfect way to end an individual book. You can't wait for the next book to come out to answer these questions, like, what was that about? Or like, where's this going? And so, no, it's very well done in the fact that you want to read more. Okay, so
thank you.
Off to you.
Thank you. I can say this, that if we're fortunate enough to have the series go the distance, you'll get some answers as it goes along. There will be obviously more questions as it goes along, but they will all get answered. Some of them you'll get answered in the first story arc. Some of them you'll be waiting until the last couple issues of the series to get answers for. So, but they're all there.
I will say
all the answers are there.
Doug pays it off. Doug pays it off.
What do you mean? You mean you already know the story?
I do.
He does.
Oh my God.
For years now. For years. I've actually forgotten probably most of the payoffs.
He doesn't remember
Really
it, but he remembered that he liked it when we talked about it 5 years ago.
No.
So it's been in the works that
some of
long.
I had ideas that I played around with for years, and probably about, I don't know, 3 to 4 years ago, kind of figured out the missing pieces. That's the thing about a complex mystery. Some pieces fit while you're doing it, and some you're like, that feels forced. There needs to be something better. And once you kind of get those linchpins, it comes together. Then I was like, okay, now I'm ready, and did like a scene by scene kind of plotting out of the entire, all the different timelines. And obviously they're not all written, but it's all plotted out. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. One way to get this thing done is to get it as an imprint of some other company. And, you know, and I'll tell you right now, I mean, if you go back to the end of my Florida stay, I guess in the spring or whatever it was of this year, I had this one video called like a Florida comic book shop crawl. And I happened to find Scout Comics World Headquarters. And I spoke to some of the people that were very nice. So when I go back down there, I could go there and just force it on them if you'd like. Or I can get Bruno to go there and say, hey,
just give him a
you guys
stack
got
of
to take
books
this
and
thing
shove
up.
it out.
I got this guy. His name is Doug. He's in New Jersey. You know, you got to go there and you got to take care of this guy for me. You know,
what's a really easy sell is if several issues have come out and they've sold well. And issue number 1 compared to many indie comics has sold well. Not like, you know, Something is Killing the Children, but compared to a lot of your average indie books, it sold really well and had 0 distribution, which is all Reggie. I mean, to me, the no-brainer thing, if Reggie decides to go that route and finds the right deal for an imprint, the no-brainer about it is the publisher doesn't have to market the book. You know, they've like Reggie's incredible at that. You know, they need to get it in the catalog and get it to comic shops, but there's going to be a lot of promotion by Reggie. So
Yeah.
well, but you know, when you walk into that, I'm using Scout Comics only because I was there and I spoke to the people and I looked around. There were a lot of comic books there that I had never heard of, never there. So I mean, I did look into their sales. There was one that I know, and I've spoken with the author a couple of times. And matter of fact, he wrote to me, he's going to be near Comic-Con. He has a brand new book that Image is going to put out, you know, so I'm going to go try to find it and talk to him a little bit about it. Maybe we can get him on Comic Book Crowd or something like that, if it makes sense. But one of the things that I saw, I said, you know, I asked him like, which I want to buy a book, what series is done or what have you. And I bought this, you know, 4-book series or something like that. But they couldn't have sold that much. I mean, I'm thinking they sold less than Isolation #1 for sure. I mean, there were just too many of them there to say that they all sold like 10 or 20,000 copies.
Oh no,
they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I like sales data. I like Comic-Con a lot. But unrelated to Isolation, just in my interest as a collector, I find that stuff fascinating. You'd be surprised that some like pretty well-known independent series, like one of the series that I collected after I completed my Sandman run, was the Game of Thrones comic series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Dynamite does a lot of properties like that. There were definitely books in that series that had print runs of like 2,000-3,000 copies. Mm-hmm. And that's a really well-known property. So you can imagine lesser known indie properties, you know, sometimes sell, you know, 1,000, 2,000 copies. So, and that's not uncommon.
Spawn. Yeah, Spawn's an indie Image, whatever you want to call it, but it's a pretty big title.
Oh yeah.
There's a handful of those books that only sold 5,000, or that was the only print or whatever. I think sales, not print run, but you know, even big books. You know, Isolation has outsold some pretty big books that or that have been out over the years.
Hopefully that continues.
Okay, that's good. Well, the last part of this show that I had planned anyway, was to show off some books that came in while I was fighting off the hurricane here. So I got them right here. And if you guys can indulge me, we'll see what they are. This first one, I don't really, some of these I don't know. I mean, I buy things that look okay online or whatever, and then I don't remember what I bought. So I don't really know what this is. This first one is.
I have books coming in. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, you know, but I got so much money to burn, I don't really give a damn. Just don't.
Dave's hanging out with Joe all Comic-Con and just having Joe
absolutely.
buy him stuff.
Exactly.
Just don't tell the missus, please. All right. She's got other things on her mind, you know, like what to wear tomorrow.
Comics, I won't say anything.
Like what to wear tomorrow so that she looks good for me. Don't tell her I said that either. All right. I still have my Reggie Collects, whatever.
Nice.
I showed it to Reggie. He goes, "How come the name is still on there?" I said, "Because I treated kindly." All right.
Mine came off within like the first week.
Yeah.
I think it's in my wood shop right now and about ready to be thrown away.
God, these people put all this tape all over everything here. Yeah.
You know, some people can. I love whenever people protect books.
I know what this is. Oh,
some people can do it way too much.
They put too much tape in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a few weeks ago, I finally went down to a comic book shop down in Harrison that a friend of mine told me about because I have no local comic book shop near me, and it's about 45 minutes away, and it's in Harrison, and you can't park there that easily. And I managed to find a number of the Alex Ross Justice Society portrait pictures, but I was missing three. I was missing three, and these are the three that I was missing. So,
wow.
So I've managed to pick them. So now I have the whole series. Nice. So the first one was number 77.
Nice.
Green Lantern, Alan Scott. Really nice.
Yeah.
You never go wrong with Alex.
No. The next was number 78.
Isn't
that cool? I mean, what really a great cover.
Yeah.
And the last one, I think I have them all now. And the last one was Stargirl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty
very
cool
nice.
Cover.
Cool.
You know, I like the
stripe
with the red, white, and blue stuff at the top. Yeah. It's a really cool cover. So that was these. Okay, so now I know what was in here.
That whole portrait series is amazing.
Yeah.
This is, I think, probably was a. I think this was a Facebook. Oh, cool. Oh, geez, I don't want to.
I love the thing that I ordered that I loved.
I'm looking at it now, but I can't get it out without breaking. I don't want to hurt it. Oh,
I don't know. I'm enjoying Joe discovering what he ordered.
Did he tape this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
This is amazing.
I always wanted this. It's probably why I bought it.
Joe from 3 weeks ago had tremendous taste.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. That's in 76.
Salutes the bicentennial.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I don't know what it looks like inside, but I saw this. I said, I gotta get this thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the back has all the presidents up until Gerald Ford.
Wow.
Back there.
Hey, is that book in Key Collector? Because if not, I know a great series that occasionally highlights cool books that aren't in Key Collector.
Oh, really? I don't know. What I'm looking to say. It's C47, you know, because they used to number these oversized books, these treasury books. This is number C47 on it.
Gotcha.
So is it technically called DC Treasury or
limited? It's the Limited Collector's Edition Presents is what they call it. I'm not sure what the actual name is, but that's the way they number it, to be honest. Because I showed a bunch of them, but I showed that Spider-Man versus Superman on one of my videos. And I asked people, I had other ones that I had owned, and I asked people which other ones you want to see, vote for it. You wouldn't believe this, but 4 of them all tied. So I said, okay, I'm not sure what I could have said. That's eventually I'll probably show some more of them. But this is one that I just came across, and I just loved the cover of it.
Yeah, it's not. And give that book 3.5 years. That's going to be popular.
Okay.
It's not in Key Collector.
Okay.
I found it. It is under limited collector's edition,
Okay.
but that book isn't in there.
Oh,
Hey,
this.
Joe, you got to find Philtastic's comment in the chat, and you got to see if Delia can draw somebody in the background
Oh,
of an isolation book.
I showed that one already.
Did you?
Yeah, you missed it.
Phil, that is a great idea. Okay, hint, hint, hint to any creators out there. Just saying.
But Matt, they want to sell the comic book. Come on.
Yeah, and that definitely goes on the opposite end of selling productively. Yes.
I think Mikey Sutton is number one on the we gotta get in a comic list because he put Reggie and me in Dreamwalker.
I gotta get that book.
It's pretty cool. If I see, I've got a few copies. Next time I see you, remind me and I'll grab you one.
If you get gruesomely murdered, I'll buy multiple copies.
But
Hey,
also buy one through Second Skin to support the company too. I'll give you one, but feel free to buy another one.
Yeah, why don't you DM me and let me know where I could buy one, okay? Because I don't.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
Dave,
So
I was in a movie one time years ago. It was a straight-to-video movie. Yeah, I got murdered by an axe murderer real violently.
Well,
I want to see that movie. I want to see that. Yeah.
Oh, when I say
My
it was a
wife
bad
is concerned
movie,
about me
you
going
have
down to
no
New York
idea.
City and leaving in the evening from Javits Center. So because of all the crazy stuff going on in New York City, so I told her don't worry about it. But we'll see how it works out. This other thing, I knew what this was, and I had ordered this, but I was hoping it would come before I went so that I could read it. But this. I can't wait to look through this.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I've heard only good things about it.
That's if you can get that signed at Comic-Con.
Well, but Alex Ross doesn't show up. He just has his little store there where everything is $3,200.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing. Because the first time I went, I said, well, Alex Ross. And I looked around, where is he? He wasn't there, but he had a big store there. So I don't think he does too much of that. But I agree with you on this.
They probably sell signed copies at his booth. I just don't. Like at San Diego, they had some preview copies, but they were like $75. So
yeah. Well, he has stuff. I get his his emails from him, and I follow him and stuff like that. He's always selling things.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually bought a couple of things that I liked from him, but anytime he puts his signature on it, the price just shoots way up.
Yeah.
Joe, you'll appreciate this. A little over 20 years ago, when I got engaged, I bought my wife, the engagement ring. She bought me an Alex Ross sketch of Superman.
Wow.
This is 20 years ago, so the pricing was a little different than it is today.
But and it's in a book, too. It's in one of his art books. You can find the one Dave has in it.
I'll send you a picture. Yeah.
So Matt has a great wife, and Dave has a great wife. I'm sure Pam is really good too, but my wife doesn't buy me anything like that.
No, right? Neither does mine, so don't worry about it.
Matt, what did your wife buy you for your birthday?
Give me one. Well, I'll give you 1 second, or give me 1 second.
I'm surprised he doesn't have it right behind him. He always pulls out these things right away.
She also bought me 2 John Byrne Man of Steel pages for Christmas 20-something years ago. So, I mean, when that stuff was much cheaper than it is now.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah. I think she got like 2 pages for like $120 combined.
Wow.
Yeah. No.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
But anyhow, 2 years ago, eating breakfast. And my wife literally asked me, hey, Matt, if you could have any comic book right now, what comic book would you want? And I remember thinking, I didn't even, I thought it was just a random comment, And because her and I have talked about things. And I said, I'd probably a Hulk 181 because the other books are way too expensive. And that one's starting to get out there where you can't even have it. She's like, hey, it's coming in the mail. She ordered me this book right here.
Dang.
Nice.
I know. I was like,
Nice.
I was very, 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 well, I'm always pleased with my wife. Okay. She's a lovely woman. But that day, I was extra pleased. But she told me that I had told her that like 3 or 4 months before. So she just wanted to make sure that that was the book I wanted. So she was happy whenever I re-said Hulk 181 because she doesn't know what comic books are good or what aren't.
Matt, I'm going to one-up you. My wife ordered me to go put away all my comics.
Well, I bought my house here 14 years ago. Yeah. And I told the wife, we had an apartment before our previous house. And I had my own comic book room in that apartment. I said, whenever we buy another house, there's going to be a room that is just for comic books. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the pictures of what this room looked like before I remodeled it. But it was this extra room in a house that they used for storage. And there was actually a washer and dryer in here at one time. Like it was a storage room. Yeah. It wasn't a, live-in room, but I saw it. I'm like, all right, that's my room. Nothing else goes into it. So it's
still a storage room.
What's that?
Still a storage room, comic storage room.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, right now I'm in my office and I got comics here and stuff like that. So some things I'm, cataloging. I have some really important comics in my walk-in closet, but down in the basement is where I have all this stuff. I have a dehumidifier going and all of that. And so one of my friends in Florida said, because he collects, he collects paper money, I guess with numismatic or something like that. And so he's very interested in comics too. And I was telling him about the value of some of them and all that. So he says, well, if you would put all your comics in one place, how much room would it take? I'm saying, I have no clue. I was going, well, maybe about this much, yeah. But I'll tell you here, we are selling the condo that we are in right now, the one on the 3rd floor where I took the video. And we're moving to the next building because we have 2 bedrooms there. And I'm finding it to be claustrophobic because I like this room I have and the basement, but like this room that I have. So I could do things. I have 2 screens here. I could do all the stuff I need. So I kept telling him, I said, I can't do that. I got to do videos now and then. I got to wait for you to go play with your friends before I could do it. So we found a 3-bedroom in the next room. And so we bought that 3-bedroom ostensibly because I need my own space. So I already, as a matter of fact, I told the guy, the contractor, I'm probably going to do videos in that room. He goes, oh, I could make it into a studio. And I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's fine. So now whenever we talk to him about it, he goes, well, what do you want to put in the studio? You want recessed lights in the studio? What are you going to put there? So now that has become the studio. That's the name of that room. It's not the 3rd bedroom. It's the studio. So isn't that interesting? So,
there's some promise there.
So Matt, just to finalize this, I got one more book here.
Uh-oh.
Right,
this
now you were talking about,
so excited to see.
You were talking about the one Comic-Con that you had gone to. All right. Do you want to say a little bit about that, a little bit more?
Well, yes. August 2021, way back in history, okay? I was going to a private cave, okay? I ended up, my wife and son and I, we went hiking in this cave or crawling, whatever you want to call it. But on the way there, I checked my Instagram and Joe's like, hey, can I... can we do a video later? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do this. So we get on screen, and Joe's telling me about this comic book show in Providence, Rhode Island. And he's like, yeah, Roy Thomas is going to be there. And like, if you wanted to show up, that'd be fun. And I'm like,
we're going to have dinner with him?
Fun. Yeah, but Rhode Island is not a close drive for me, okay? New Jersey was a 4.5-hour drive. Like, it wasn't right next door. But I'm just thinking, and I'm going through this. I'm like, son of a gun. Like, I missed out on ever meeting Stan Lee, okay? And, and I was like, oh, there'll be a show. I'll go see him. But I've never gone to any shows. And I'm like, no, Roy Thomas wrote Conan, okay? And many, many other things. X-Men, Avengers, and so forth. So Ghost Rider. He actually is credited with Wolverine. I mean, the man's a legend, okay? And I'm like, I got to go see Roy Thomas, and I get to go see Joe, which I had not met at that point. So my wife and I drove the 500 some miles.
Your wife was a saint doing that.
Oh, she's amazing. I mean, that was her first comic show. She really enjoyed it. Anyhow, so we go there, and Joe is just talking to Roy Thomas like they're old buddies, because Joe actually wrote to him back in the early 1960s, before anybody even knew who Roy Thomas was, honestly, Captain Carrot days. And they were just chit-chatting, going back and forth, telling stories about this. Joe has emailed him since then, but Joe took a really cool book to get signed by the great Roy Thomas. And Joe, do you remember, we were like 2 and 3 in line to go, at that signing. We were right there up front.
The minute they started setting up his table, we got online.
Yeah.
So,
we're just like, forget looking at books. We're getting in line.
Right. And there was a limit, I think, a couple of books or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were able to get him to sign books at dinner, because we had dinner. And that's what I really had the conversation with him, showed him the letters that I wrote to him, or the letters I got back, one from his mother, one from him, and he was amazed. He asked me to send them copies of them, which I did. But it was an X-Men book that I brought from the comics my mom let me keep, from way back when. I'm sure it's not, I don't know what the grade is. I'm sure it wasn't that great to begin with, but it finally got here more than a year later. So
that was September 18th.
Wow.
Right. So here it is. And of course, it's wrapped up pretty well. They had a facilitator there to do it. It was Captured Collectibles was there. So I didn't realize it was going to be this. Well, okay. It's going to take me a little bit of time, so keep talking, man, to open this thing up.
I'm looking for a receipt that I got from the book that I submitted.
I think it was in September, actually. I think you're right.
It was September 18th.
September 18th. But it was a great time.
The facilitator was Captured Collectibles. Yep.
I have that receipt too.
Yeah. But no, Roy Thomas he absolutely sought out Joe to talk to, because he was so interested in this, letter that not only Roy wrote to Joe, but Roy's mother actually wrote a letter to Joe. And so Roy Thomas was very interested in talking. So we got a lot of, FaceTime Joe got a lot of FaceTime with Roy Thomas. And it was kind of cool to see this connection between these two guys. So, and sometimes opening up CGC books, it's a lot easier, said than done, because they package them well.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Dave.
Yeah.
While Joe's doing that, was the first Comic-Con we ever went to a Wizard World and your birthday?
Yeah, we went to some of the Wizard Worlds in Philly, and they were all the first weekend in June. Which was around my birthday. Yeah, we went to a bunch of those back in the early 2000s.
I was trying to remember the first ones I went to, and I know I went to like smaller ones like Mocha for to promote my comic. But as far as like a big show, just to go for fun, I was pretty sure it was your birthday. We would go pretty much every year to Wizard World, which was fun.
2005, we actually got to see Batman Begins a couple weeks before everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
That was the Wizard World show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's so many smaller ones. Matter of fact, there's one in New Haven coming up in a couple of weekends, I think. I'm not sure. It's not too far from me. It's about an hour and a half, whatever. So I was actually thinking of potentially going there if I have the daytime. There's some even like in White Plains, just half an hour south of me too. But a lot of times I'm not around. I'm somewhere else. I'm in Cape Cod or I'm someplace else.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I'm going to,
because it's from Cape Cod. I just drove to Providence. So it wasn't
Joe, I'm going to a cool place here next weekend. My son and I, we have a lot of Seneca Indian in our ancestry. We're going to drive up to Salamanca, New York, and go to the museum. And we've been to Salamanca before. It's a reservation for the Seneca people. But about an hour and a half drive from there is Rochester, New York, home of the great Gary B. So we're going to go up and hang out with Gary for a little bit.
Excellent. Because
cool.
Of course, I invited him to come with us to Providence, Rhode Island, because he's a big Roy Thomas fan as well. But he had just started a new job.
Yeah.
And he couldn't see fit to take the day off because of that. So I still tell him, I said, it would have been epic with the three of us there and Roy Thomas. It just would have been just amazing. But
it would have been cool. But
have to be some other time. But
Chuck's comment made my heart sad there. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you shared it.
What's that?
The comment that Chuck had that you shared briefly hurt my heart.
Yeah, I know.
And Geek Out with Roscoe, I imagine Doug and I were probably at that same Wizard World in Philly and back in 2003.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, wow. Poor Chuck.
I know, Chuck.
Time machine, Chuck. Time
So
machine.
close, Chuck.
Just rubbing salt in the wound there.
Mm.
Hey, it was great to meet Chuck last year.
Oh, yeah.
He's cool.
Since it took me like 2 hours to open it up here.
We were killing time for you.
Exactly. Doing a little dance.
4 hours later.
Actually, not so bad. I thought it would be worse. It's X-Men number 35. Along Came a Spider.
Love this
by
cover.
Roy Thomas on 9/18/21. First appearance of the Changeling, Spider-Man, and Banshee appearance. There it is. There you go.
Nice.
And he signed it right there.
Is that a 5.5?
It's a 5.5.
It's nice.
Not a bad grade for an old book.
On my comics,
Yeah.
I got another one that was 6.5, which I was thrilled with because I'm looking at some of them saying 2.3, 2.3.
And that's the book that you bought off the rack as a kid.
Yeah.
And you and all your friends read it probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, maybe I don't know about this one, but a bunch of them we did, share around. So yeah, this is one that I bought as a kid. So it cost me 12 cents. So it's worth a little bit more now.
Not a bad investment, Joe. Not a bad investment.
Bad investment.
Not at all.
So this is cool. Over a year. Oh, and here's the story though. I forgot to tell the story real quick. No, I lost it here. So I'm away, right? And I have informed delivery from the United States Post Office. If you don't have it, it's pretty good. It kind of shows you what comes in.
Yeah.
So I get a note saying that I'm going to get this package in. So I go and find out what the package is, and I realize it's from Captured Collectibles, and it's this book. And now they have a hold mail on, right? So I said, oh, okay. I said, so, a lot of times, one time I had a hold mail, and they sent books that I had bought to some people out in mid-America. They forwarded, I had it forwarded, it was supposed to be forwarded to Florida. They sent it to
it's flyover
Iowa.
country.
Yeah. And matter of fact, I did a video on that because the person was so nice. They packaged it up, saw my address in there, packaged it up. They peeled the yellow thing off of theirs that had their address on it, saw my address underneath. They packaged it up and they sent it to me.
Wow.
Dang.
Without telling me, I don't know who they were because
That's great.
they didn't put their names on it or anything like that. So it was really nice. I did a video about it, just saying what a nice people they were.
That
So
sounds
anyway.
like someone in the Midwest would do.
Right.
In the Northeast, open it, sell it on eBay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So
Bruno's making money off that.
It fell off a truck.
it's so we had the mail being held. So they bring the mail on Tuesday, I think it was. They bring the mail over to us on Tuesday. And in the mailbox, they have one of those like pink sheets saying, we need a signature on something, you weren't home. And we weren't. So I say, okay, we're going to be at Comic-Con Wednesday, or rather Thursday, Friday, going to be. So I said, so I went, took care of my appointment this morning. I got back home at about 2. I had a phone call at 4. I grabbed the thing. I go to the post office, right? I go, oh, got this thing. We can't find it. It's not where it's supposed to be. I said, okay. He says, give me your phone number. I'll call you tomorrow. I said, I won't be around tomorrow. She goes, yeah, but you have your cell phone with you, right? I said, yes. She goes, so I'll be able to call you. I said, yes, but I won't be able to pick it up tomorrow. She said, okay, that's all right. We can hold it for you. And I'm saying, I don't know if I want you to hold it for me. So anyway, so I take care of other stuff. I have the phone call. And at about, they close at 5. At about 4:30, they say, guy calls me and goes, oh, we found it. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. So I'll be right there. It's only it's only like a mile away. Hop in the car. I said, I gotta get there before they close. And I picked the thing up and I said, cottage, finally. So that was my story on that. I thought for a second it was gone. I said, no, please, no. Don't send it to Iowa again, please. No. That was it. Anyway. So that's my story. So I'm really happy with that. I'm cool, some cool comics I picked up. I didn't know I had them there, but really nice. Those kind of the Superman, Centennial one. These beautiful covers by Alex Ross that are there, and my 5.5 X-Men number 35, which I think is really cool. So I'm really happy with that.
And signed.
And signed by the great Roy Thomas. Fantastic. So they didn't have a repeat of that Comic-Con this year. I thought they might do it and get somebody else because they just had the one major star.
I remember talking to Roger from 3 Men in a Basement. He said that they were definitely doing it this year, but that was months and months ago.
Well, I thought they had a really good turnout. I thought for a small, comic convention there and so forth. But anyway,
that was a nice
you missed the best part.
Hey, Jackson.
Just to hop off of Matt to give 3 Men in a Basement a plug. All great. Otto's a great guy. Dave in the Cave. They have Roger's brother. Roger's one of the most genuinely good people I've met, and I've met a lot in the community. Roger's a great guy. So if you ever get a chance to check out 3 Men in a Basement, do it. It's worth it. It's a fun show and great people.
Joe and I got to hang out with Dave and Otto that night whenever we were in Rhode Island.
Oh,
great people, really good.
Otto loved my letters from Roy Thomas's mother and all that.
Yeah.
You kept just going around telling everybody, you got to see the letters yet. So don't tell other people. I said, they might come and grab it from me. Come on.
Yep. Otto's super friendly too.
Otto is just a large personality, and he was. You got to see these and telling everybody. It was cool. They're just really good people.
Yeah, they are.
All right, guys. So I'm all talked out. Any last words here?
You kept me up after my bedtime.
Oh, definitely mine. But
oh my God, 10-19.
Shout out to Aaron Judge. What an amazing season he had.
62.
I'm not even a Yankee fan. I'm not an anti-Yankee fan. I'm a Pirate fan. Love my Pirates. But Aaron Judge had an amazing season.
Incredible.
How much money do you think he's going to make?
More than I will in my lifetime with that one ball. Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of zeros after a 5 is my guess.
Yeah, I think so.
50 a year for 10 years sounds about right to me.
Nice.
And that ball is worth somewhere north of $2 million.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I hope the fan kept it and that the Yankees buy it and give it to Judge, because I'd like to see Judge have it, but the economics of who it ends up with, it should benefit the fan who caught it. So Albert Pujols.
Yeah, that's
I'm a big Pujols.
Yeah.
Plus, that's a terrific accomplishment also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not easy to do, especially without steroids.
Yeah. It's incredible.
All right, guys. I'm all talked out. I'm all out of water.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
So I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you before noon, I'll see you noon at the. Hold on a second.
Oh, I am so left out on this. You guys are all getting to hang out tomorrow. Some of my favorite people in the world right here.
Booth 3437. I'm going to get there a little bit before noon, I think, if that's okay. We'll see how that works out.
Joe, I'm DMing you my phone number. I know Wi-Fi is terrible, but if you want to, we can try texting.
For those of you watching on YouTube, Doug's cell phone number is
555-555.
David
anytime,
Dave and I already
anytime.
Dave and I already did the contact on cell phone, so we got that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you. We didn't have a comic book crowd this month because of Hurricane Ian, but we will have one coming up. And I did get a confirmation that Don will still be available for it. So we should be in good shape with that. And we have a great topic, I think, to talk about. So we'll see you at the end of the month in the next live show. Thanks for showing up to this impromptu hangout. And thanks again to Dave, Doug, and Matt for showing up. Appreciate you guys.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good day, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.